Okay, well the project is now complete and everything's finished, including the room actually down here as well. So once I had the electrical closet finished, all rewired, we were able to renovate the room. We put a new floor in, I got rid of that old carpet. I actually changed the lights in here as well. I put pot lights into the ceiling so everything is much more evenly lit now. It's nice. And we're using this as an exercise room, so we have well, kind of exercise room slash spa. So we have the exercise gear over there, and the spa portion is, you know, kind of where the sauna is. So it looks a little bit nicer now. I guess when we moved in here, they had an old pocket door just to close off the closet. I kept that. It works. I just changed the door handle on it. So when you open it, it just slides open. And you have access to all the panels and boards in there. So I do just want to run through each of these panels here. I'll just go through each one there, and I know I've already kind of gone over a lot of it in the pictures, but just gonna go over a few more detail things, and then I'll finish up the video. So the very first thing I wanted to do when I started this project was mount two lights on the inside here. So there's one over there and one over there. It gives a lot more light and better visibility to the panels when you're working on them. And I have a light switch over here that I installed as well. Again, it's just a simple little thing, but it actually made everything go a lot easier because I could see a lot better. And just, you know, simple bulbs up there. It doesn't have to be fancy or anything, but it just gives a lot more light and better, like I was saying, better visibility to your working space there. So it made things go a little bit easier. I didn't have to hang those trouble lights, and especially, you know, servicing the boards after. You just turn the light on and you can see. You don't have to have any headlights or anything while you're working inside. Everything is a lot more visible. So in terms of the main service drops coming in here, everything's pretty still original. I didn't change the ground wire here. I didn't really want to disconnect this from the panel just in case something shorted out or something because the ground was disconnected. So yeah, there's a bit of a kink in there, but you know, it's not too bad. Everything is still the same there. In terms of the data feeds coming in, that's all new here. That conduit's new. It comes down over here, and these conduits over here are new as well. So I have a 2-inch conduit on the back here that brings in the coax lines and the Cat5 lines. And I have the incoming feed from the service, and this 1-inch line is for the alarm wires. So I like how everything is in conduit now. It keeps it nice and neat. Don't have to worry about cable ties and that kind of stuff. You just have the conduit kind of guiding the wires in, and it keeps it really clean looking too. Right into the boxes there. So with regards to the main electrical panel, like I was saying from before, everything is now nice and straight. It looks neat. Everything comes in from the top as opposed to the top and the bottom. That gives me space on the bottom to mount all these extra units down here. And just on the underside over here, if you were looking closely in the video, you would have seen that there were holes that were punched through over here where the existing wires came through. When I pulled those wires out, there were the holes that were left. They do need to be covered. I do have these plugs that you just kind of tap them in afterwards, and it just covers those holes there and prevents I guess the gutter space from being exposed. You know, somebody's working there, pokes a screwdriver up or something, it accidentally goes too far and it touches the hots and they get electrocuted. So not very good. So they do have to be protected. I do want to point out one thing here. This is the whole house surge protector. This is a square D model. It's a bit of an oxymoron to have a square D surge protector with a Siemens panel, but I do like the square D units a lot better, which is why I got this one. It basically has 2 leads coming off of it. Those 2 leads, they just come in under these 2 breakers here. So 1 lead per, I guess per breaker. Now this is a double pole breaker, so they do go on. They are tied together. They do have to have, each lead has to go onto each bus bar. So this is serving one bus bar. This is serving the other bus bar, and together they'll protect the entire panel over here. So the idea is you want to keep the feeds for the surge protector as close as you can to the main breaker over here. That way, in case there's any lightning strike or surge, or like if a transformer blows on the street side, there will be a little bit of a current increase. And the idea is that as that current increase comes in through here, it's going to protect that, or it's going to arrest that surge before it accesses the rest of your the breakers over here. So you want to keep that as close as you can to the main breakers. Now I think it doesn't really matter what size of breaker you have. I think this is just a 30, like a double pole 30 over here. You could have a double pole 100, you could have a double pole 200, doesn't really matter, but just as long as you have a double pole and it's going on both bus bars. So then off of that, then I have just my I have my plug for the electrical closet over here. I have my transformer plugged in for my irrigation control. And then these are the transformers for the alarm panels right there, and the doorbell. For the irrigation panel over here, I have a Hunter EC. This is an older model, but it still functions just as fine. Like I said, we have the 6 zones all controlled there, and I have each of these zones labeled, so I can tell exactly what zone waters what, or which part of the garden is on which zone. And then I have the link up to that wireless receiver for the rain meter, or the rain detector, and it plugs into there. I guess what I could have done is I could have had this wire go all the way through the back, just up the side here and into the unit there from the back, but I guess for some reason I got lazy there and just surface mounted it. Here's also the panel sticker. Now this is a printed legal size sheet here with all of the zones on it, with all the circuits on it. Now I just figure it's easier to have a printed sticker as opposed to like a handwritten one, because you can see it's a lot easier and you can put a lot more information on there. So for this one, you can see how many circuits and plugs there are on this one. It's just a lot more convenient to have it typed out. Sorry, it's going blurry there. Can't quite focus it. It's just a lot more easier to have it typed out, so you can change things and modify things as you either change the circuits or add a light, or add a plug. Now at the bottom of the electrical closet, this is where I put the relay panel, and this is the relay panel for the sauna. The reason I put it down here is because I don't really need access to it. It's just I just need a spot for it. So what I have here, this is the line that comes in. Actually, this is the same line as this one up over here. So it comes out from the panel, it just tucks in behind, goes down, and comes in over here. So it comes in. These two 14-2 wires, these are actually the control wires, and they this is where the thermostat and the timer is hooked up to it. I'll show you in a sec. And then this is the main line out that goes to the sauna over there. I didn't like how it was just kind of ran behind the wall there, but I didn't really want to tear down the whole wall and refeed it, so that's I'm stuck with how they ran it initially. Yeah, so these two wires over here, they actually come into the control panel over here. And when you turn, so if I'm going to turn the timer on, I'll say I want 90 minutes, or sorry, 50 minutes. And if I set the temperature over here, you'll hear a click in a second. So that's the relay just turned on, and it shows that the light is on there now, so it's heating. And if I turn the heat down, the relay clicks off again. So that's how that works there. The next module I want to show you here is for the alarm system. Now, since I took the pictures, I have done a couple of things, a couple of modifications inside here. Now, we did have at one point a faulty board, and that had to be replaced. So things are a little bit different from the pictures. It's been about a year since I took those pictures, and what happened, I guess, the main circuit board was faulty for some reason, and it just kept going into alarm mode, so we had to end up replacing that. I got in a security guy to come in. His name is Ben from the Alarm Man Security Systems. Great guy. He found the problem right away and fixed it within about 3 hours. It was all fixed and rewired and stuff. So now I did have to come in behind him and adjust some of the wires, because it wasn't quite as neat as I had liked it. You can see the wires still aren't quite as straight, because he had to adjust some of the wires and stuff. But let me just run through what we have going on here with the alarm. So we have 3 circuit boards. This is the main board. We're running a PC5010 alarm system. Again, it's an older model, but it's what was installed in the house there. The second board, this is actually a power supply module, so it provides additional power for extra boards that are throughout the house. I'll get to that in a sec. And then this third board here, this is an 8-zone expander. So the main board here has standard 8 zones, and with this expansion board you can have an additional 8 zones on there. So we currently have 16 security zones right now. For this middle board here, it's pretty well disconnected from the pictures from before. We used to have like a data link going from here into this board, and there's also a data link wire going up to a unit in the attic. It was a telelink unit, and it's no longer being used. It's like a radio communicator to a base station. So if there's like a power failure or something happens to the AC and there's a burglary, it can still communicate via radio to the base station. But I don't think that stuff has been used for the past 5-6 years. It's all cellular now. So we basically just disconnected that unit, and the board is still here, but there's no wires coming onto it now. I've just coiled up that wire over here and just left it there, along with some other wires too. But yeah, so everything, the wires are still nice and neat and everything, but the old battery that we used to power this box is now gone. That battery is old too, is leaking. So I've just left the wires there, in case we have to use a power supply module for an extra unit. It's there, just in case. But yeah, so like I said, the wires aren't as straight, but it still looks pretty good. And over here as well. Interestingly enough, the alarm guy said, there was a ground wire that was in there. You can see it just over here. He said, don't even use that at all in case there is a power surge, and if this power surge unit doesn't adequately, absorb that surge. He said that can blow your whole alarm panel if it's grounded. Even though it is grounded. So he says just get rid of that ground wire. So I've coiled it up in there. Just an interesting fact. And of course, there's a panel label, so it just goes through all the zones here, what we have, and which board it's on. So you can see the blue is board 1, the green is board 3, and the red is board number 2. So everything is laid out there. And of course, it's under lock and key there. And finally, the last unit that I want to show you is the low voltage panel. So this is, I've upgraded to a Leviton Structured Media Center 280. It's replacing the smaller unit that they had there. It just gives a little bit more length, so I can fit a lot more components in there and all the wiring together without having the wires spill out onto the ground there. I actually have an extension bracket on there as well, and that gives me a little bit extra depth so I can have the components mounted on the door. So when you open this up here, now just like the alarm panel, I have done a couple of modifications inside this as well since I took the pictures. It's been about a year since I took those pictures. So we did upgrade our internet service over the past year. Right now we're with Bell, and when they introduced their 5 TV, we got a bundle with the TV, internet, and home phone all together. And as a result, we had to upgrade our modem to allow that 5 TV to come through the phone line. So this is the new Home Hub 2000 modem that they gave us. It replaced the old white unit that was right over here. And as a result of getting this new modem, since it's larger, I wasn't able to mount it in the same spot as our old modem, so I had to flip these 2 units, had to do some extra wiring in there just to have some more wire to come up into this unit over here. So yeah, and they added a new DSL filter over here as well. So I had the existing Leviton DSL filter board over here. This is a newer filter board. I guess it's a VDSL2 or a DSL2 filter, and something that this board doesn't have. So we had to add in this new unit as well, and now this DSL filter is not being used. And since this unit over here, since this modem is a little bit deeper, I wasn't able to close the door with enough space to have room to close the door there. So I actually had to get an extra expansion bracket over here, and I had to move the power cables all into the back there. So with adding a new expansion bracket over here, I also had to beef up the attachment brackets here too. So instead of using their They're smaller, probably 1/8 inch threaded rods. I have 1/4 inch threaded rods over here, and it goes right through onto the main panel there. So all 4 sides, I have those thicker rods, and I have screws holding it in the middle as well. So that's kind of, those are the few modifications that I've done. Now, if you remember from those last few photos there, I showed you the lights that I installed, mostly just because it was so dark in there to work. So I added a switch on the side over here, and once that switch is turned on, it turned on the lights inside here. And these are just the LEDs that are, I guess it's just like a sticky tape on the back there, and it just sticks onto the surfaces there. And those lights basically just plug down into the transformer over there. Yeah, and with those lights, it makes everything a lot more visible. You know, I can see everything now. If I have to work on the panel here, I can see exactly what I'm doing. So it just helps. So I'll just go through the modules that I have here, just to show you. So the first thing that I have, like I was saying, these are two, I guess, this board and this board. These are the two DSL filters. This one's not being used currently. This is the new one that's been installed. Now this is a punch down block where all of the main telephone lines come in and split off. I'll go over that in a few minutes there. This area here, this is like a test port panel and a link panel for the alarm system and the tele-doorbell. Again, I'll go over that in a sec. These are the main house termination ports where I can select either having a phone line coming in or having like a data line coming in for the network. And all the cable stuff at the bottom here. And then the power units all at the very, very bottom. And on the door here, this is where I have all of my modules for the, I guess this is the network switch up here. This is a 16-port D-Link network switch. This is a tele-doorbell. Now this module actually allows me to, if there's somebody at the door, they can ring the unit. I guess they press the doorbell for this unit, and it actually hooks up a speaker from outside to the telephone line. So I can just answer the phone and talk to somebody outside through the telephone without even going to the door and answering it. And I mentioned this before, this is our internet modem. So I can have focus here. It shows me status for the network, internet, and TV. It's the Home Hub 2000. So I'm just going to run through the wiring that I have here. So from the pictures, you probably understood that this is the incoming lines coming from the outside demarcation box. These are all the lines coming in from the house, and they come down on these two conduits, respectively. So this is an 1.25" conduit with from the demarcation box, a 2-inch conduit coming from the house. So from the demarcation box, this gray line, that's the telephone line coming in, and that goes right onto this punch down block. Now everything that I have here is actually labeled on the side over here, so I can see exactly what is what. So I have, well, I guess first of all I have a label for the ground block. That's on the left there. So all these ground lines, I know exactly where they're coming from. This is the punch down block I was mentioning. So it's split kind of into, I guess, eight units. So from these two punch downs, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I'm sorry, 6 units, not 8 units. And then I have I guess the designation for every single wire that comes in. So if I'm looking at this punch down block over here, I have 3 pairs that come in on that gray line. So I have a green and a red that come in. That's my first pair. I also have a blue and a brown and a black and a white. So I have those designated over here. So green and red, the brown and the blue, and the white and the black. So telco number 1 comes in. This is the main line. This is our first line. And it comes in and it goes out to the security. So that means that when it comes in on these 2 lines here, the next line that it's connected to, it goes out on the blue pair to the security. And that goes into this unit over here. I was mentioning about the links. So what happens is it comes out on the Cat 5 over here, comes into this block here, and I think security is... So it comes out on the security over here. So alarm panel link. So alarm panel link means that this wire that's coming out of here actually goes right into the alarm panel. So this Cat 5 goes all the way out, and it comes all the way out and around through here, comes down into the security panel over here, and that gets terminated onto there. So the blue pair gets terminated as in, the orange pair gets terminated as out. So when it comes out from the security, it comes back into here and through the block and goes back into this punch down block, and it comes in right over here. So it comes into the next pair here. The next pair is designated as, let's see here, as DSL filter. So from here, what we have is orange in, blue out into the DSL filter. So blue out, it's a line in now, and phone out into the orange pair. That orange pair comes into here. Now blue out to the teledoorbell. That's another one of those links over here. So teledoorbell link. That link now comes into here, goes all the way down through here, and into my teledoorbell link unit. So there's the blue pair that comes in and the orange pair that comes out. So now that's, I guess, technically feeding a potential doorbell contact, through the phone line. It can hook into the phone line, and it tells me exactly who's out there. And that comes in through over here. And then now this is the filtered, the secure, and teledoorbell line that comes out here. So everything that is just passed through it comes out, and now goes into the main phone line over here. So these are the main phone line boards, like I was showing you here, phone ports. So this has the security filter, this has the DSL filter, and the teledoorbell filter all coming through here. And I can link those out into my house ports now. Now from this over here, the DSL modem, I have a modem line that comes out. So from the modem, this is now the filtered, this is the pure signal that comes out. This is the filtered signal. So the pure signal comes out, goes down here, and it comes down into my my Home Hub 2000 there. So that gives me the internet through there. Now from the modem over here, that's line in, and there's also line out on the network. Comes up and it goes into my network switch over here. So in my network switch, I have 16 port. Well, I have available 16 ports over here. I'm only using 12 of them, so there's 12 lines that come down through here, and they all terminate on these 2 boards over here. So it shows data ports. So all those data ports are basically, all the stuff that's coming out of the switch over here. And now from both these sides here, from the phone and the data, I can basically plug in my house on whichever ones I need to use. So all of my house termination ports are in the middle here, and I can select, I want a phone line coming into this port, or I want a network coming into this port here, and I basically just choose whichever one I want, and I fill it in. Now, how do I know which port I'm using? Well, I have data labels on every single one. So house 01, house 02, house 03, 4, 5, 6, corresponding to these ones over here. So house data terminations. So 01, 02, Mike's office, so my office, A and B. There's a double plate over there. So in my office over here, I have my computer hooked up to this one. It'll focus again. I have my computer hooked up to this and my network printer hooked up to that. So they both come off onto the data ports over there, which makes sense because I need both of them networked. Now let's see. So house number 6 over here. House number 6 is Katrina's bed. So my sister's bedroom. So let's say she got a new computer and now she wants to hook that up into her network. Well, right now it's on the network there. So she's all set to go. Now let's say she needs to have an extra phone in her room or something like that, and she says, I want to have a phone line right there. So I say, okay, no problem. I can just unplug it from here, and I can take this now and actually plug it into the phone instead. And there, so within like 20 seconds, I've given her a phone on that jack there instead of having data. So it just takes a second just to reroute either a phone or a data onto the house termination port. And like I said, so if she says I don't want that phone now, I want my computer instead, I take it out, plug it back into the onto the network side here, and within 10 seconds it's all set. Yeah, so I mean that's pretty much the switching there between the phone and the network jacks for the house terminations here. And like I said, it takes a little bit of figuring out just to realize, okay, data ports, house termination ports, phone ports. But once you get those all set, you just figure out, okay, what do I have to plug into these ports to get either phone or data onto that jack there. So I have a phone test port and a data test port as well up over here, and the phone test port is basically a continuation off of these boards here, and it comes up and into here. The data test port comes right off of the network switch over here, and comes in over to here. So I can basically have a spare port just to test whether my phone's working correctly, whether I have a network signal, that kind of stuff. And I do also have a cable test port, which comes down over here. I'll get to that in a second. Okay, so for the bottom unit here, this is where all the cable drops come down. So like I was showing you before, these are the main cable lines, those 6 cable lines that come in from outside, that outside demarcation box. And these are all the room drops that come in over here. They all come down together, leave a nice little loop of excess there, and they come into these main bus bars over here. Now, just like I made for outside, that outside demarcation box, I've made the same thing in here in terms of those angled brackets, and they house the termination points pretty nicely. I have staggered them as well, so I have the left one mounted flush on the back board, and I've elevated the right one just so I can have the wires coming in underneath for that left bus bar. And this way I can stack them, I can save space, I can mount 2 rows of these termination points within about half the space as I would normally need. If I had to stack both of these 2 on top of each other, I'd be running into space there. So this is a nice way just to kind of save space and still get a large volume of cable jacks terminated. And I'm going to have them all labeled as well. Now on this side over here, I was showing you in the pictures what I have mounted. I have 2, I guess kind of like a double-decker system over here as well. So in the back I have the ground bars. I have 3 ground bars for the 6 cables over there. Those are the 6 cables that come in. So you can see here the red is this, I guess, satellite number 1. So that satellite number 1 and the yellow satellite number 2, they both terminate on that first grounding bar over there. And the ground wires come all the way up over here. They all kind of group together, and they come up onto the ground bar over there. So the lines that come in, so I guess from here, they come around all the way around, all the way around. They come into the grounding, the ground bars over here, and then they come out from the other side. They loop around, and they go into here. So these are the 6 incoming ones that are coming from the grounding bars. Now we also have, I guess I've mounted a amplifier and a splitter over here. So this amplifier just amplifies the incoming cable signal, or the incoming landline signal. So this is coming in, and it goes to the in of the splitter. I also have I guess this is the power for the splitter. It's interesting, they've I guess utilized a cable line as the power. I don't know how they did that, but somehow they're using that. And this is the little transformer with the cable jack on it. So that's kind of interesting. I've never seen that before. So that's powering the splitter, and then we have the I guess the amplified signal out into a splitter over here. This is a 4-way splitter, so we have 4 outs, 1 in and 4 outs on either side. And they just go into their respective room jacks over there. So this one that comes out, followed around, and it goes into port number 30 So if I look up over here, so port number 30 is the exercise room right over here, and that would be that TV up over there. So in here we have we're able to watch TV while we do our exercises. And the other three are the same thing. I think it goes up into the family room, the master bedroom, and somewhere else. And I think I was saying this in the when I was showing you the demarcation box. If we ever did want to switch to say satellite, well, we have our 4 ports right over here. So when the satellite gets plugged in outside, the signal now comes into here. All I have to do is basically just hook up a cable. I can take this cable off, say plug it in or remove it from here, and plug that in right over there. And now we have our satellite feed going right into this room drop feed. So again, minimal switching. I can just choose whatever I want basically. If I did switch to satellite, well, these 2 units become non-functional, but they just sit there in case I wanted to switch back to say like a landline or something. So again, everything is pretty, I wouldn't say future-proofed, but very ready for changes in the future. How's that? And then finally on the bottom here, this is the power supply area. So there's that standard, I guess 115 or 120 volt jack there, and there's the two plugs on there. One plug I use just to daisy chain off, other plugs there for the transformers, and then this is the transformer for the light here. All of the excess wiring is just tucked on the side over there in the gutter space. Keeps it away from, I guess, these units when they have to close. I don't want them to be interfering over there. Again, I'm not too happy about the wires being so close to the cable lines over here, because you can get interference between the two. If I was really picky, I might switch these to shielded wires, just in case, but, again, I don't watch TV that much to really notice. So that's about it for the data panel. Well, that pretty much finishes up this video here. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my electrical closet transformation here. It certainly looks a lot better now. I'm much happier with it. Everything is still functional and still works, luckily. So it seems to be a success. Let me know if you have any questions. You guys can post them in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. All right, take care.